we don't shut up.
And Emily and I have we have these moments where
Staring. You just stare.
Literally we've done it for 5 minutes. it's like, I think you would find it terrifying. We just literally look at each other and
time. I found a sociopath.
And time stops.
Yeah.
But that's just how it's been for us from the beginning.
No, we're like, oh my god, there's
Oh.
And they score again.
no. It's like, oh my god, I forgot to tell you something else.
No, I think that's cute. You guys are really cute.
I think it's more than cute.
They won this game.
Just that WME was trying to get Blake to be a presenter at the Golden Globes but was declined, which was likely due to the bad press that she was getting while promoting It Ends With Us, which ultimately spearheaded the whole lawsuit against Justin Baldoni. And also noticeably absent was Wolverine himself, Hugh Jackman.
Hollywood insiders are reportedly distancing themselves from Blake Lively, following the release of a controversial leaked video that has sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry. The footage, which seems to challenge the star's long-established, polished public image, has sparked a heated debate among critics, fans, and industry figures. Sources claim that the video's contents have raised serious concerns about accountability and authenticity, leading several major studios and collaborators to reconsider their associations with the actress.
Spend a minute on Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively, okay? I know the ruthless fellas have been all up in this business. And, no, but seriously, have you followed it at all?
A little bit. It's all over the tabloids, so you got to see it a little bit. I don't know if you're an
all
expert,
over the tabloids.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so for those of you, just a quick two-liner for those of you not following it. They starred in this movie, It Ends With Us, about domestic violence. It was his movie that he bought the rights for from the woman who wrote the book, Colleen Hoover. Then he managed to convince Blake Lively to star in it with him, and all hell broke loose. She claims he harassed her, and then by the time they premiered the movie, they weren't even speaking to each other. She made him stay in the basement, and Ryan Reynolds turned on him too. And then she claimed that he unleashed a bad PR campaign against her. And he claims none of that is true. There was absolutely no harassment. Those are made up claims. She wrested his movie away from him and decided to try to hurt him with petty, made up, out of context complaints.
Done it for 5 minutes. it's like, I think you would find it.
Does this not look like two people who caught feelings for each other? Does it not? Does you? The evidence never lies, okay? Read it all, I'm telling.
Renowned for her poised image and meticulously curated career, Blake Lively now finds herself at the heart of a storm that questions the industry's standards and expectations. While her passionate supporters advocate for a more balanced response, many others are calling for swift and decisive action. This script delves into the unfolding controversy, examining the origins of the leaked video, its far-reaching impact across Hollywood, and the broader implications it holds for celebrity, culture, and accountability.
She and her husband are bullies, and now it's resulted in vicious cross litigations against both of them. The New York Times is being sued for defamation by Baldoni through his lawyer, Brian Friedman, who's also my attorney, who's been on the show. And it's as vicious as it can get in Hollywood. My own position is she's absolutely ruined her brand. She has started a fight she cannot win. She does appear like an Amber Heard to me. I have yet to see one of her complaints borne out. In fact, all of the ones I've seen have been undermined by his hardcore proof in text messaging and so on that puts a totally different light on her horrific allegations. Then you see what she actually said and wrote. It's very different. She called herself Khaleesi and said Ryan Reynolds and we believe Taylor Swift were her dragons. And she's got the best dragons because they'll fight on behalf of her friends. Now she and Taylor are reportedly on the outs because Taylor Swift is like, bitch, I'm nobody's dragon. That's unconfirmed, but it's out there. And today we see some evidence now that Blake Lively may have a history of not being upfront when she gets cast in a movie of her secret desires to actually play a much bigger role than that of lead actor.
The controversy erupted when an anonymous source leaked a video that quickly became the center of intense debate, both on social media and within industry circles. Observers have pointed out that the footage showcases moments and conversations that seem to contradict the polished public image Blake Lively has carefully built over the years. In the wake of the leak, several industry executives voiced their shock, expressing disbelief that someone of her stature could be linked to a situation that challenges the long-standing expectations of decorum and professionalism. As rumors spread that the video contained material considered unacceptable by a segment of Hollywood's elite, A swift and coordinated response from key figures in the industry followed.
Did it become clear to you that Blake Lively was the aggressor in this now epic showdown? Was it right after was it when Baldoni dropped the countersuit? Was it when Brian Friedman put up the website with the 170 pages and all the text? Or was it right away when the Times wrote?
Right away. I've always had an intuition about her, and I've always had an intuition about Taylor Swift and like the branding of the nice girl stuff. I knew how she grew up. I knew that she kind of was one of these people. What tends to be the case is that when you grow up with everything, you create things out of nothing because you're looking for struggle in your life and you're used to getting whatever it is that you want. So I just kind of had her down to a prototype and said, I'm going to pump the brakes and see what happens. And then when Brian Friedman came back with the facts, they were just undeniable. And it contextualized everything. And it really was quite horrific because you just go, what kind of a monster even goes through with this CRD filing and doesn't include the proper context of these?
The leaked footage has been scrutinized frame by numerous experts, who contend that while the context remains unclear, its implications are undeniable. Critics argue that the video not only damages Lively's reputation, but also establishes a troubling PR precedent in an age where digital content can be weaponized to destroy careers. Some insiders have speculated that the motivations behind the leak may go beyond personal grudges, suggesting it could be a deliberate attempt to challenge the very foundations of celebrity culture. The controversy has sparked important discussions about privacy, the nature of public scrutiny, and the responsibility that comes with fame.
2022 Forbes Power Women's Summit.
I would show up on a set. I knew that they just wanted me to show up and look cute and stand on a little pink sticker where I'm supposed to go and say what I'm supposed to say. But I also knew that that wasn't fulfilling for me, that I wanted to be a part of the storytelling, that I wanted to be a part of the narrative, whether that be in the writing, in the costume design, in creating the character. And sometimes I had directors or producers or writers who would welcome that and invite that once they saw that I was able to offer that. And sometimes I would have people who really resented that because they were like, we just hired you to be an actor. Yet when I went in the meetings, I would just seem like I'm just there to be the actor and ready to get the gig. I wouldn't reveal that I actually need to have authorship in order to feel fulfilled. So I think that for them, sometimes that might have felt like a rug.
In response to the mounting backlash, several high-profile studios and production companies have reportedly severed ties with Blake Lively, citing the need to protect their brands from the fallout. A prominent Hollywood producer addressed the situation in a private industry meeting, explaining that the decision was driven by a range of factors, far beyond just the existence of the video. The move to cancel future projects with the actress is seen as part of a larger trend in Hollywood, where maintaining a spotless public image is now as important as the artistic merit of one's work. Analysts note that this is not an isolated incident, but rather a sign of a cultural shift toward greater accountability within the entertainment industry.
We need to talk about this whole Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni stuff because I have a lot to say.
We talked about it like our last
talked about
episode,
it a little before,
but there's more.
But there's a lot that's come out because now there's this like anti-Blake campaign that's going on.
Really?
And I'm low-key living for it.
I'm starting to think about just like Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. Like everybody's like, love them. They're so attractive. Love their goofy relationship. But like now I'm starting to think like the way they treat each other online in front of everybody. I'm like, what is it like behind closed doors? I bet you're both awful people. Like I bet you're both just like really terrible. Because the interview that she did, I don't know what, maybe it was an Australian reporter, or she did that interview with a reporter.
Oh yeah.
And the reporter had known she was pregnant. And so, I love your bump. And then she goes, love your bump. And I was like, okay, well, that was crazy.
That's a wild remark to also hit back with.
Yeah.
I know. And the reporter's like, I wanted to cry in that interview. I was like, I would have wanted to cry too. Imagine Blake Lively pokes at your pop out.
Meanwhile, Blake Lively's public relations team has adopted a measured approach, urging the media and public to withhold judgment until all the facts are known. In press statements, they have emphasized her dedication to her craft and argued that the contents of the video have been taken out of context. However, the narrative of cancel culture remains difficult to escape, with commentators continuing to debate whether this reflects a genuine need for accountability or an overreaction amplified by the viral nature of social media. As the discussions unfold across various platforms, an increasing number of observers are calling for a more nuanced understanding of the situation, warning against hasty conclusions that overlook the underlying complexities.
It's overused now, but she did FAFO. Like, she thought she could blame all of her negative press on him. He's a weakling. She's Blake Lively with Ryan Reynolds, her dragon. And she decided, I can't take 1 month worth of negative press, which she got, generated, she says, by him. He says, by you and your badness. And she's so thin-skinned, look what happens to you. Look what happened to poor J. Cal even on this show. People get picked on when they're in the public eye, right? Like, just Google Megyn Kelly, you'll see terrible articles about me. It's part of being in the public eye. She's just used to being Hollywood's golden girl. And she had such thin skin that after having a couple negative things happen to her for a month, she had to blame him. She decided to blame him. And boy, did she open up a hornet's nest and learn, be careful what you wish for, because now you've got the fight you asked for and you're not.
Industry insiders who were once allies of Blake Lively now find themselves grappling with the dilemma of balancing personal loyalty with professional responsibility. Several former collaborators have publicly acknowledged the brilliance she brought to their projects while expressing regret over their decision to sever ties with her. The ripple effect of her cancellation is felt not only in her immediate loss of work, but also in the wider conversation about the criteria used to judge public figures in the digital age. Scholars and critics are revisiting the concept of accountability in an era where a single moment can be blown up into a career-ending scandal.
Seeing the downfall of Blake Lively before our very eyes.
So this week, Blake Lively and her companies are under a lot of controversy because she decided to exploit domestic violence victims to promote her brands. And now the whole internet is doing a lot of deep dives to expose her past. And I want to talk about it today because I'm not sure why we're shocked that the woman who had a plantation wedding has had repeated rumored drama on all the sets she works on, gave Harvey Weinstein a pretty glowing review during his downfall, and much more we'll cover is surprisingly not that great of a person. Like, come on, Blake Lively and her husband Ryan Reynolds have always given like high school quarterback and head cheerleader who peaked in high school that were always like passive aggressively mean to you, but like had this nice branding person, like, oh, she's so nice, but she's not. Like, she'll just turn a corner and be so rude behind closed doors. And just like those two kids from your high school that eventually got married, never moved out, and never had to develop as people, they are so out of touch and they just don't care.
The repercussions of this incident are expected to reach far beyond Blake Lively's personal career. Some industry experts argue that it will prompt a critical reassessment of how Hollywood addresses controversies, especially those stemming from leaked or unofficial sources. In boardrooms and strategic meetings, executives are now weighing the delicate balance between protecting their investments and upholding values of fairness and transparency. This controversy has become a litmus test for the industry's evolving stance on media ethics, digital privacy, and the boundaries of personal expression. The case has sparked widespread debate about the role of social media in amplifying such incidents and whether current practices are sufficient to protect the reputations of those in the public eye.
I have a theory that Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are a very suspicious couple. I get weird vibes from them. I have for a very long time. Why does Ryan Reynolds need to be the CEO of like a jillion companies? First of all, he's a perfectly successful actor. There are celebrities who you don't have any opinions on, and that's because they're not doing PR. And when there's celebrities who are doing PR for themselves and you are being trained to have a certain opinion about them, that's when I get suspicious. And may I remind you that they met on the set of Green Lantern, and they were both in relationships when they met.
Ooh.
And
you hate to see that. You really hate to see that.
And then mysteriously, a year later, they weren't.
The narrative surrounding Blake Lively's cancellation has resonated strongly with fans, who are deeply divided by the unfolding events. Loyal supporters argue that the video doesn't fully capture her character and believe that personal growth and redemption should be part of the conversation. They contend that everyone, regardless of celebrity status, deserves the chance to acknowledge and learn from past mistakes. On the other hand, critics argue that celebrity comes with a heightened level of responsibility that cannot be ignored, especially when one's influence affects millions of people. This divide is fueling ongoing debates across online forums and talk shows, reflecting the tension between the ideals of forgiveness and the demands of accountability.
I have absolutely no feelings about this guy, Justin Baldoni. In fact, to be perfectly honest, I reviewed some of his social media, and he seems kind of ridiculous with his toxic masculinity, lamentations, and so on. But that's fine. That's me. So I'm not on his side. But my point is simply, I just don't see it. In their incendiary complaint, where they're trying to do their best to bash him and the PR team, I don't see that the second loop closed of, and then here's where they did it. It's just all supposition. They don't have these great texts saying, look what I got placed in the New York Post.
This incident has also sparked broader industry reforms. In the wake of the scandal, several advocacy groups have started lobbying for clearer guidelines on how leaked digital content should be handled and the repercussions for those involved. Legal experts are weighing in, questioning whether existing laws offer adequate protection for individuals whose private moments are exposed to the public without their consent. These discussions have fueled a push for stronger regulatory frameworks that balance the rights of public figures with the demands of a vigilant media landscape. As legislators and industry watchdogs debate potential reforms, the Blake Lively controversy stands as a stark reminder of the evolving dynamics at play.
Blake Lively is getting more and more criticism from the public, and now they're bringing up the past, including the time she was trashed by the royal family. In 2021, Blake Lively's husband Ryan Reynolds, without telling her, purchased a football team in the United Kingdom with Rob McElhenney for $3 million. And because the football team is based in Wrexham, has gotten a lot of love from the royal family, where King Charles has attended the game several times, and Ryan Reynolds has formed a friendship with him. In the meantime, Blake Lively's focused more and more on business, with one big example being Betty Booze, which is a line of non-alcoholic sparkling drinks she launched because, like myself, she's never actually drank alcohol. Around the time of the Betty Booze launch, Kate Middleton wasn't really seen at any public events, and also released this very strange photo of her with her kids. And that's because the photo wasn't really Kate Middleton with her kids and was a complete Photoshop job where many people thought Kate Middleton might have passed away, and there were a lot of conspiracies around it. Because that, Blake Lively posted this on Instagram, which was a clearly photoshopped image of her marketing Betty Booze to try and promote the brand and also make fun of Kate Middleton. Then Kate Middleton looked very stupid very quickly because it was revealed she was being treated for cancer. Blake Lively did apologize, but the royals seem upset, which is why they haven't attended any games for Ryan Reynolds' teams.
The impact of the leaked video extends beyond immediate cancellations and voided contracts, prompting a broader reflection on the nature of celebrity and the fleeting nature of public favor. In previous decades, personal indiscretions may have been overlooked or quietly forgiven, but in today's digital age, every action is under intense public scrutiny. This incident has become a symbol of the modern era's unforgiving standards, where a single misstep, whether intentional or not, can end a carefully crafted career. This dramatic shift highlights the immense challenges celebrities face in maintaining authenticity while navigating an environment that increasingly demands perfection.
Austin Baldoni has come with receipts. Lively is finished. He has said that the New York Times basically cherry-picked and altered communications and didn't give any context to anyone, which is true. He has text messages of Blake asking him to come to her trailer while she was breastfeeding so that they could discuss the next scene. He also has correspondence of Blake asking for the costumes to be sexier in the film, which really doesn't corroborate any of these claims she's been making about the fact that he was sexually exploitative. His lawyers have said, while their side embraces partial truths, we embrace the full truth, and we have all of the communications to back it. Public will decide for themselves, as they did when this first begun. And this is the same journalist that took down Harvey Weinstein that released Blake's article, so Baldoni wouldn't be trying to take them down if he did not have the receipts. This is Mean Girl Blake coming out. It didn't go her way, she tried to fight it, but Baldoni is showing that he's not gonna back down.
Amid the turmoil, several industry veterans have called for a measured approach, one that considers both the merits and missteps of the situation. They stress the importance of a fair process that goes beyond public opinion, advocating for a thorough review of all available evidence behind closed doors. Discussions are ongoing to determine whether the cancellation is a necessary stance on ethical standards or an impulsive reaction that could have lasting implications for creative freedom. This internal debate is expected to shape future policies in talent management and crisis resolution within Hollywood. The long-term impact on Lively's career remains uncertain. While some industry insiders believe redemption is possible if the controversy is addressed openly and constructively, others remain skeptical, fearing the damage may be irreparable. The situation has highlighted the volatility of fame in the modern era, where the margin for error is razor thin and the public's memory is short. For Blake Lively, this crisis represents both a challenge and a turning point, a moment that will not only define her personal journey, but also shape the larger cultural conversation about accountability, authenticity, and the price of celebrity in the digital age.
Sources close to Blake and Ryan claim that they didn't attend in any relation to any of the legal drama, but this was a decision that they made a while back. But if anybody knows anything about lawsuits, they're not filed in 24 hours. It does take some time to actually put everything together and file the lawsuit. Or, as in her case, the legal complaint that she originally filed in California before the lawsuit. But could it be possible that they just decided to boycott the Golden Globes because of the rejection to have Blake be a presenter? Or is it possible that the lawsuit was spearheaded by Blake suddenly being rejected by Hollywood after all her bad press? Because even right now, she has no other film projects in the works, with exception for A Simple Favor 2 starring Anna Kendrick, but that sequel has just been announced, or has just been confirmed as a straight-to-streaming on Amazon Prime. That's not even going to be in theaters.
As the debate continues, industry analysts are meticulously examining every aspect of the leaked video, trying to piece together a narrative that explains the drastic actions taken by Hollywood decision-makers. The content, timing, and ensuing media frenzy have all played a role in creating a situation that is as complex as it is polarizing. As more details surface, the public remains captivated by the unfolding drama, with each new revelation adding further layers to the already intricate story. Every stakeholder, media critics, legal experts, and devoted fans watches closely, knowing that the outcome could potentially reshape the landscape of celebrity culture for years to come.